Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to do a WWDC 25 reaction. And what are my thoughts on the upcoming iOS 27, that's what they're calling it. So yeah, anyways, let's get on with the video. So now you can see my screen. Well, now it kind of looks better. I like this angle. So first we're going to start is iOS 26. Which they renamed it. First we got the liquid glass, make it more 3D look, which I don't know how I feel about it, but the way it looks, I think I like it. It looks a little bit different. The camera different, we're gonna talk about that later, but I really like the new redesign. So next we have is visual intelligence, which you take a screenshot and then it shows you where it kind of goes through like the internet and shows you where to get it. And maybe they'll have other apps, maybe like other stores and stuff, but until then we have it. And you can also ask it, where do you get this from, and then ask questions, and then it sort of learns what things you like. It is sort of intelligence, but yeah. And then next we have is new backgrounds in messages. I always wanted this feature, but since it's here, I'm so excited. They're gonna have their own backgrounds as well as polls. You can add polls now, which is cooler. They should have added more stuff to iMessages, like a ton of stuff, but I think that they're trying to make everything a little bit better, but I like where this is going, so yeah, keep it up, Apple. So next we have is, it does a live translation of your messages, and also during your FaceTime calls. It has this weird voice when it does it, but I think that it is pretty cool. So yeah. And then eliminate distractions with the new screening tools. Well, it kind of like shows you a transcription of the phone call, so you can either click it or you can like just ignore it. And then something with holding music, I don't know that much about it, but CarPlay, like I guess you can like it kind of like Bluetooth between you and your phone, and you can screen it from your phone to your car, which is CarPlay. And then they have something called CarPlay Ultra, but we'll talk about that later. Hopefully we do. So this is how the glass is gonna look. The new design with liquid is beautiful, delightful, elegant, familiar. I like it, but I don't know how I feel about it. It's still like processing, and I don't know. Maybe it is pretty good. They have to execute it right. That's all I'm saying. A fresh design with liquid, and they also made the Safari much more like small and minimalistic. So all your stuff will be in the 3 dots, like adding it as a bookmark or making it as a PDF and stuff like that. It does make it look more minimalistic rather than the Safari. I don't know, it's lacking on the iPhone, but this might be a much better alternative. So we'll see. And you can also change, it doesn't adapt to it, but it's kind of like you can move the time up and down. It does adjust to it based on the picture, which I thought was kind of cool. And they did update the icons. They have light and dark mode, and they made it more dynamic in the Apple Music. And then they also redesigned the camera app fully, so now it's gonna look like this. Because before I'm gonna show you a picture, it looked cluttered and horrible, and I didn't really like it. So maybe this time it looks much clearer and better, but we'll see how it looks. Live translation, we already did that. You can also mix emojis. You can combine 2 emojis in Gen emoji, which I think is kind of cool. And they had a few more stuff in the keynote, but playground. And then they added new styles to the image playground, ChatGPT style, which I don't know what that is, but it looks sort of good. I really liked Image Playground. I think they did a really good job with it, and it can use my face to make like a picture, which is kind of cool. And accelerate your workflow with shortcuts. They combine shortcuts and Apple Intelligence. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. You can do this thing called call screening, which will automatically answer unknown calls by itself without you having to touch it, especially with spam calls. But yeah. And now in the messages, they have kind of like a tab where you can see unknown senders, spam, and recently deleted, which I think they said it'll clean up your messages, because I always get these random texts. And yeah, and the phone using hold assist, it'll hold the call for you and it'll give you wait for a live agent, so, and polls. And I like this background, but don't the images kind of look pixelated to you? So anyways, and then Maps will understand your preferred routes. It'll learn everything about you, which is kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time. And there's this thing called Visit Places, which will show you which places you visited, and then you can go back to it, which is kind of cool to see where you've been, and you can always revisit that place. And then there's this thing called Auto Mix, which I think when towards the end of the song, it kind of like combines it with the next song, which is kind of cool, because the point of a playlist is that it knows what the next song is, so it's just easy. And there's also the lyrics translation. It will translate it from Spanish to English or other languages, which I think is pretty cool. I think we've been waiting for something like this. This thing called in the Wallet app, you can create a digital ID for if you're going to like places that are nearby. I forgot what it's called. But transporting to places that are in the United States, not above. I don't know. Oh, domestic travel. So you can go domestic travel, you can have this, but it doesn't really like get rid of your ID, sort of. It doesn't get rid of that. So that is cool. But you should always have a physical ID, because so in the Wallet app they have this thing called digital ID, which is basically kind of like a virtual version of a digital ID, but I think you should also have a physical, because I don't know if they allow this to travel with. for domestic travel. And yeah, the games is they have a new app called Games, which has everything you need in there. So yeah, that is Games. I really use Games. And yeah, that is basically all the features in iOS 26. And also this journal app with multiple stuff, being able to multitask with a broad ability to be able to do it, and a re-edited version of the Photos app. And yeah, that is everything about iOS 27. These are the iPhones that are compatible with it. So yeah, it is with mine. I have an iPhone 13, and yeah, I think Apple did a great job with it. But yeah, let's get on with macOS. So that is basically all the apps and stuff that are related to iOS 26. I think they made a huge difference by naming it something different because they wanted it to be an even number. So this is macOS Tahoe, which is Apple's new thing. Like, they name everything after California stuff. So that is cool. And there is this liquid retina display, sort of I don't know, they based the whole theme off of Tahoe, I think. I do like it. It's definitely more different than their other ones, more colorlessness, and yeah. And now you can change the iPhone wallpaper app with using continuity, and the phone app is reimagined and something different because it's usually plain and boring. And I think they're reintroducing this phone app to the Mac, which is usually much more different than the other ones. So yeah, that is basically it. And it can work with the iPhone using the continuity. You can pick up calls and all the notifications will come to the Mac. But they already had that feature. I don't know why they're kind of repackaging it as something new. But it is something more different than it usually is. And I do like the new look of the phone app. I think it's way different than I thought it would be. Well, they're doing a great job updating everything. And you can use the spotlight search to send a message, which I think is probably using their Apple Intelligence and being able to send a message just within the search bar, which is probably much more different than it usually. I don't know, it's just such a hassle sending a message through the iMessage, and using this shortcut app, which can create this shortcut using the Apple Intelligence, which is cool, but I don't know, I just want to try it out. So this is a version how it's gonna look, the liquid glass. I really like it, but I don't know, it kind of seems different this time. Not really for a Mac, but we'll see. I might change my opinion later. Refreshed app. Basically, it's the same thing. And you can also see all the apps that you used, here. See all the ones with the iPhone. It kind of allows you to use other apps, which I thought is cool because the Mac can do it from your iPad. I don't know how to explain it, but I sort of feel like they should have done something with the Notes app. They did a lot last year, but I don't know. iPad OS. So the newest here would be windowing, which allows you to have multiple windows on the iPad. It sort of brings it into this kind of it's kind of like Stage Manager, but not really. I didn't really use Stage Manager. I never liked it, but this one might change my mind because you can use it directly. You don't have to press a button or anything. You just swipe, I think. And they made the you'll be able to do the files. You can put folders in the dock. You can now put files in the dock and then be able to access them without having to go back and forth with the files, which is good. But we'll see when the real update comes if I change my mind. But yeah. And then they have the preview app now on the iPad. I think it was on the Mac, not on the iPad. I don't really like the preview on the Mac. It sucks so bad. But I don't know. We'll see. It looks pretty like better, but we'll see. You can mark up stuff in iPad. It's not like you can't do anything, but we'll see what happens. I think it's probably better on the iPad. Everything is better on the iPad, but I don't know. We'll see. Live translation. New look. This is how my iPad will look. I don't know how I feel about the liquid glass still. It allows you to change the time and the dynamic of the photos. New design of your favorite apps. It kind of looks more like the Mac. You can open and close windows, and you can also do different commands with it. You can do one with the 4 like corners. I think I like this better than using my Mac. I don't know, with the iPad, when I take notes, I use Notability and then I split screen, and I don't know, the keyboard doesn't really have the same size on the other half. So I think they need to change that. I think they need a keyboard that can adapt to the size of the split screen when typing in Notability. So yeah, keep that in mind, Apple. So you can move, resize like 4 corners, like I said. Move to display. You probably can move to your Mac directly. So see all these tabs I was talking about. File, edit, insert. I think that's pretty cool. They're trying to make the iPad a Mac. That might be so much better than it is now. And you can also change the color and give it emojis and stuff. And you'll be able to hand background tasks with large files in the background. So you'll be able to, because I think I don't really do large files on my iPad. It's mostly on my iPhone, but we'll see. And you can do smart reminders, tasks with Apple Intelligence. I think that's pretty cool. Contact posters, you'll be able to personalize and look gorgeous on expensive iPad screens. So these are iPads that are compatible with it. Next is WatchOS, which I never got into because I don't really have a watch. I have a Fitbit, but I love it. I don't need an Apple Watch, but for those of you who have flick your wrist and dismiss notifications and be able to do smart looking actions. Smart sleek stack. only thing was the motivational in real time Lego workout buddy that motivates you to do more than you actually entailed yourself, which I think is pretty cool, especially when you're running or doing outdoor stuff. You can also do live translation, backgrounds, and messages, and you can have smart stacks right away, automatic notifications. Notes come onto Apple Watch. You can take a quick note if you want to. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. It looks much more user-friendly. There's no iCloud, no this. It seems much. Being able to do everything with your right hand and being able to create a note just with your Apple Watch, and there's so many more features. This is the devices that are compatible. Yeah, I really enjoy just seeing all the Apple Watch features. Maybe eventually get one. So next is a Vision OS, which is this is about the Apple Vision Pro, which has tons of features, which it looks more 3D and dynamic, and I liked it so much better than all the other iOS stuff. I think I'm more impressed with this than others, and being able to play a game inside your house, it's kind of virtual, but it does take a lot of space. I don't really know about that, but I think it's cool, and it can do Apple Intelligence and Playground, which among the other features is probably much more impressive, and being able to put widgets on your wall with not actually being there. I think it's cool for if you want to decorate your whole house and you don't want no one else to see it but you, which is probably the coolest. And then there's the persona, which looks more realistic than last time. So there is a little bit of changes here and there, but it's basically just cooler each time I see it. And yeah, as I scroll down, I see you can do 3D models. You can put your 3D object from a website to real life, which I think is cool, and you can see how it looks and fits in your space. And it's also compatible with the Logic mouse and the other thing. So yeah, that is basically your Vision OS. It's more realistic, it's cool, just like this video. I thought it was very impressive. If you guys enjoyed my video, I hope it gave a recap of everything that Apple did this year. AI needs to get back on the horse, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and comment if you want more stuff like this. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye.